Thunder! 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 ThunderCats! Ho!
Well, it looks like we're back with more ThunderCats. David, we got another full episode with episode 112, The Doomgaze, which aired, surprisingly enough, on September 24th of 1985, the day right after our last episode.
You know.
So this is the Doomgaze, which is summed up as Lionel becomes infatuated by Tashi's beauty and falls under her hypnotic spell in this episode of ThunderCats. Thank you again to the ThunderCats Wikipedia for the synopsis that we will be using today. And let's get into our episode, David. So we are back with Mumm-Ra. Right before recording, I was just telling David that I miss him when he's not here. I feel a longing for him.
I think when everything was going on with Groon, that he was at the cauldron, just, leisurely, dipping his crusty finger or feet into the pool, just touching it, watching the going on, going, I wonder how well this is gonna go.
Dipping a toe into the pool. just
playing with it, leisurely, watching the cauldron bubble.
So the cheetah gets visions. Oh. It might have inspired him for today's plan. So, David, I gotta say, we open up on a Egyptian-style floating ship that is an alligator-esque wooden... I guess it really is Egyptian-esque, kind of sail barge.
And it has the rows, the wooden...
Yes. And she's got alligator men, or lizard men? Lizard men?
I like alligator people. Alligator people.
Got another race. It literally starts, though, with a voiceover of Mumm-Ra calling to this spaceship that's just floating in limbo, which we find out is called Nemesis?
Stars.
Huh?
So, upon Mumm-Ra's invocation, Nemesis, the Force of Darkness, advises him to join forces with Tashi, an ancient sorceress with the power of the Doomgaze, in order to vanquish the ThunderCats. So wait, Nemesis, the Force of Darkness, is that one of the ancient spirits of evil?
I guess so. He's at the cauldron. He's asking for...
he's chosen, like you said.
He contacted 411 for some information on what he should do next. The ancient spirits of evil, they should be advising him, shouldn't they?
Well, as we get on with the series, we'll see who's really in charge here with Mumm-Ra. It might not be him. It might be those ancient spirits of evil, telling him what to do.
This is your last chance. This is your last chance to rid the neighborhood of marigolds.
Mumm-Ra!
When we told you to plant no candy fruit trees. As president of the HOA of the Black Pyramid, you were supposed to oversee this neighborhood project.
The vile mummy then contacts Tashi, who is imprisoned in the Time Warp prison, and accepts her proposal, but only if he frees her from her prison. David, Lord have mercy, Tashi.
I have notes here. I said there is a funny conversation between Tashi and Mumm-Ra, because she's almost taunting him. When he contacts her, he's going to release her from his time loop. She's like, do you know? Do you know the secrets? Mumm-Ra?
It's like a voiceover too. They're not even seeing each other. Just picture this woman, as David says this. She's sitting in her floating boat, and
with alligator people.
With alligator, and Mumm-Ra's voice is just calling to her. So picture this conversation, not even looking at each other. They're just talking into the air.
So then, it's ridiculous. And then she's like, you don't know the secret. And Mumm-Ra's like, yes, I do. And she's like, well, then you better tell me. List them. And he's like, he starts going off of
everything. A barber's tear. Unicorns.
Shoe. A tuft of cheetah's hair. And she's like, oh, wait. He says a tuft of cheetah's hair. She's like, and what else? That's what she's like. And
after each one, she's not even letting him get out.
And what else? And then he's like, to the last one, she's like, and you still don't know everything.
She's like, know this, Mumm-Ra. Know this. And you really know the power of the Doomgaze. He listed 5 other things prior that he knew, but...
He's like, and I must validate the parking for your ship. She's like, God, it's ridiculous. I would have been like, listen, if you want to get out of this time loop, bitch, just do what I say.
Possible. Do not taunt Tashi. No one but I knows the key to the Time Warp prison. and I am powerless to act.
Not so, Tashi. I too know the key. I can free you from the time warp.
And that is the key, O vain one.
A tuft of hair from a cheetah.
But that is not all.
A tuft of hair, a burble's tear.
Still, that is not enough.
Disbeliever, a tuft of hair, a burble's tear, and a shoe from an enchanted unicorn.
There is but one more element, evil Mumm-Ra. Know that? And you truly know the secret of the time warp prism.
A hero to take your place in the time warp. That is the final element.
I don't know if she was
She was
you know what?
taunting.
Well, here's the thing. Just like everything else, Mumm-Ra has been alone for thousands of years in a pyramid. She's been alone thousands of years in a time loop with some alligator people. Maybe you just get bitchy or lose your mind.
Or is this
both.
her form of foreplay? Oh, know this, Mumm-Ra, and you really know. Oh, but do you know this? Again, we got Lynn Lipton doing another voice of Tashi.
But again, something you pointed out too is that very Egyptian. She looks like very Cleopatra-esque.
Yes.
Very, very Egyptian. The headpiece and whatever she's wearing is very elusive to
Egypt, for sure.
Egypt and the times. So
Mumm-Ra agrees since he knows the key to unlock the prison, which comprises of a tuft of a cheetah's hair, the tear of a burble, which
wouldn't have been on Third Earth when Tashi was enslaved into the time loop. So again, continuity issue.
And an enchanted unicorn's shoe, which I give. And finally, a hero to take the place in the time warp prison. Know that, Mumm-Ra, and you know that. That was the one that she said, I know that one. That was the hero. Yeah. Then you truly know the time warp prison.
It's like me when I wanted to book a flight. It has to be a direct flight. I need peanuts, comfortable seating, direct flight. Do you know all those, Mumm-Ra?
Then you could really release me from my prison.
Then you will take Delta.
God help us, David. So meanwhile, Lion-O and Panthro, who were training outside Cat's Lair, notice a dark cloud in the sky, traveling
in the opposite
direction of the other clouds. Using the Sword of Omen, Lion-O learns that is in fact a man of war cloud, heading directly towards the Burble village. It was literally a dark cloud, and inside was, they call it a man of war. It's like a jellyfish, right? Like a jellyfish tentacle.
Yeah.
There's a thing called a man of war.
I don't know if it's... Does a man of war have tentacles, though?
It does in this... It does in this world. Do a man of war have tentacles?
It is a jellyfish.
It is a jellyfish?
Yeah.
What kind of shit is this that Mumm-Ra's coming up with?
Maybe, just maybe, you're seeing again...
his craziness? He don't even know what to come...
ties to his old living when jellyfish were around. You know? But maybe, like, again, Mumm-Ra's been around for a long time. Which makes you wonder, is he around right now?
Well, wherever evil exists, Mumm-Ra lives.
Well, then that's everywhere.
Mumm-Ra's living good right now. He's watching us all. Know this, Mumm-Ra.
He doesn't even have to use the cauldron. He's just got a big TV screen. She flicks from CNN to
iPhone
Fox.
now. He's got the tablet.
He's like, you see a cord.
Reaching into the sarcophagus, charging. The airborne jellyfish grabs Bear Bell in one of its long tentacles and flies away.
It's so sad when Rober Bill tries to run. She's like, grab my hands, grab my hands. Whatever the voice.
Please save me. That was sad. I felt bad because she's got that beautiful flower in her hair. You could tell.
She's
And
just gentle. They're just gentle. They're simple, gentle creatures. But again, you have the Thundercats will get you. They'll save you, girl. Don't worry.
Because it is traveling so fast, Cheetara is the only one who can match speeds with it and chases after it at super speed, leaving behind scorch marks on the bark of nearby trees so that the rest can follow her trail. However, her chase is cut short when she runs right into a net set by Slive. The reptilian cuts off a clump of her hair before the Man-O-War Cloud snatches him as well. And she's like,
oh no, you didn't. Do you know how hard it is to find a hairdresser on Third Earth? You just jacked up my hair.
do you remember this, David? He says, silence, Catwoman, Slive to her.
Oh no,
So,
you didn't.
You
Sexist.
invoked
He's
DC, though.
Oh, she gonna mess with
That's
you.
copyrighted. Catwoman.
She gonna beat you now. You gonna be dead now.
Cheetara says, he wanted my hair.
Did I ever tell you I had Tony the Tiger pants? I made them. I sewed them. They were literally puffy thick and they had the same coloring as Tony the Tiger. You know,
Why
my
does
club,
that sound familiar?
Club rave days.
David had tiger socks from Rite Aid,
Yes.
which were fluffy, lighter tan tipped
Yeah.
socks. Looked like just like Tiger's feet and his shoes that open to the back of his foot and his toes. These were Tiger socks. So every time David
But I made those pants. They were made. Like I got stuff from like Joann's or Michael's back in the day. I'm talking like a long time ago. A lot of glue, a lot of pins, a lot of this, a lot of that. Anyway.
Why isn't there pictures?
I don't know why I don't have them anymore, but anyway.
So as Lion-O and Snorf continue their pursuit, they witness Jackalman removing one shoe from a unicorn. Ooh. Before running away, Lion-O's suspicion that Mumm-Ra is the master of all the strange happenings is confirmed by the Sword of Omen's vision. Now aware that Mumm-Ra and his cronies have assembled at the top of Mount Anguish?
Oh, it's a beautiful place to visit. It's like going to
You know Mount Anguish.
Strangely looks like Stonehenge. I wonder when this was first Earth, Stonehenge is still around. You know, it's not Mykonos or anything. You're not going.
It says that it actually is. It's one of many mountains found on Third Earth. The side of the mountain's cliff has a shape resembling a deformed face of stone. At the top of the mountain, there are a number of giant stone slabs arranged in a circular pattern similar to Stonehenge. There you go. So that is Mount Anguish. Just another tourist attraction on Third Earth.
Keep your hands in at all times, otherwise you will be chopped off or sucked out by ooze, set on fire, whatever.
So we're assuming, because we found out that Third Earth in our last episode might be smaller, so this might be overlooking God knows.
You might be able to see it from the back of the cat lair.
When they arrive at Mount Anguish, Mumm-Ra has already started the ceremony of freeing Tashi from the Time Warp prison.
He's like, Habanero, Samanero.
No, he really goes deep into this language.
But I don't know what it is. I can't say it.
It was just like, it sounds like he is just
These are a
mumbling.
few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses. Ooh, satin sashes. I remember him saying something like Habanero, Sumanero. Oh, it's like Louise from Teen Witch.
It was just like, rah. He's great. He's great at. Mumm-Ra is fantastic.
You know, sucking his teeth and get that saliva out that mouth.
Well, we got so many close-ups of that face today. Holy shit.
So I actually wrote a note about that. There was at least 4 screenshots that look more like the anime. Is that what it is? It's like it's free and it's so graphic and detailed. It's actually scary. I love it. I want to take pictures of it.
I loved it too because it's so detailed.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
dramatic.
And his skin is just as Mumm-Ra-esque as ever. Oh.
He needs to go to the dentist and get that water thing. He needs a water pick. Give him a drink. Give him a drink.
At one point, they have Robert Bell held down, and she's like, I will not cry.
I mustn't cry. So he just shoots her.
He electrocutes her face, basically. Just on her face. And you see her little Robert Bell's eyes quivering. And she tears up and she's like, no. But he gets one single tear that Mumm-Ra collects in a goblet.
What
So I guess it
happens?
really was a single Burble's tear. Lion-O tries to stop the proceedings and manages to call the Thundercats before Tashi has him spellbound with the power of her Doomgaze. She's beautiful in a kind of evil way, of course.
You still need to be put under her spell.
And Snarf's looking like, what happened? Lion-O!
I thought you liked boys.
So here we go. Cheetara is looking out to the side, right, David? And she's like, why isn't Lion-O attacking?
The other part you didn't mention is that he took the cliffs to get up there, and he made Cheetara run through the desert of phosphorus death or something.
Yeah, he definitely took the easier way, but to get over at one point, David, he makes the Sword of Omens grow. Basically a bridge that him and Snarf can cross over. I should have a freaking song at this point. The Sword of Omens can't do everything. Cheetara's not having it. She's like, I don't know why Lion-O isn't attacking, but I'm not just gonna stand
I'm gonna do
here.
something. I'm gonna do something about it. If he's not doing anything, I'm gonna do something. So she grabs Monkey-In, which she's strong enough to pull Monkey-In aside, grabs him,
Good.
ties him up, and frees Rober Bear. Bell.
Cheetara. Bell, yeah.
Rober Bell. She frees Rober Bell by grabbing the Monkey-In. Then she runs over because she sees that Lion-O's under the Doomgaze, because Tashi uses her Doomgaze on, and the sword, he loses his erect sword goes down, he loses it. And she's like, I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm gonna run over there.
Well, Mumm-Ra is also like, Tashi! He's screaming at, we will not be taken down!
Damn it, Tashi, I told you to use a Doomgaze. I got you everything you needed.
He literally screams at one point. He's like, do something, Tashi!
So wait a minute. So then Cheetara says to Lion-O, you take care of Mumm-Ra.
Yes.
And I have a score to settle with Sly. So she goes after Sly. She takes her staff.
Her staff, yeah.
And she makes it grow where she puts him on top of one of the Stonehenge things up high. And then she goes for Jackalman and she goes cat versus dog. A foregone, what did she say?
The age-old battle or something like that. But is Jackalman really...
A jackal is like a hyena? I don't know, I guess.
Wouldn't it be more like a wolf, like a cheetah?
No, they're more of a dog. Jackal's more of a dog. So she gets all of them, and then Snarf tries to help Lion-O. He knows that Lion-O's under the spell of the Doomgaze from Tashi, and she goes, well, you can go with your, you little creatures, whatever, it's insignificant, you can go with your master. So she Doomgazes him.
Because they're trying to, basically the whole plot was to substitute Lion-O in for Tashi, so he would be in this never-ending time warp.
And then the best part of the whole, one of the best part, well, actually, the whole thing was a gem, really, if you really love this kind of stuff. So Cheetara sees that something's wrong with Lion-O. The Sword of Omens is now a dagger again, and he's acting mesmerized. And she runs over there and
she's not affected by the Doomgaze, the mesmerizing Doomgaze.
Mumm-Ra is like, You must submit to a higher power, Cheetara. You will need our protection once Lion-O is gone.
Submit to a superior power, Cheetara. There is nothing you can do. Join us, Cheetara. With your master trapped in the Time Warp prison, you will need our protection.
It make the Thundercats part of their posse now? Like they were just gonna switch over to being evil because Lion-O was gone?
It was just so funny. And then
you must submit to a higher power? I remember him saying that.
It's like it's like that 80s commercial for Hebrew National hot dogs. We answer to a higher authority. You must answer to a higher authority, Cheetara.
Is that kosher?
Then he's like, Tashi, Doomgaze her!
Yeah, he's literally screaming his head off this whole episode, Mumm-Ra. Tashi!
And Cheetara basically says, you ain't gonna mind screw me. Maybe these men are weak. Maybe maybe you're using the JJ to control these men. But I am a woman, and you hold no mystery for me.
It fails!
How can it be? Summon up your powers!
Your mystical powers have no effect on me. You may mesmerize men with your evil beauty, but I am a woman. You hold no mystery for me.
Her vagina gaze does not work on Cheetara.
You might be able to pee whip these men, but you hold no secret for me. I am a woman!
I am a woman!
And then
Damn.
Mumra's like, That's
when he's screaming,
sir.
like, how is this not working?
There's some point where Tashi cloaks Lion-O in that sheer cloak thing, which I guess is to prepare him to be...
Her, like, cape and puts it on him, this blue, silky cape.
I guess it's to prepare him to become part of the time loop or whatever it is. So Cheetara takes and throws it up in the air, and it goes back to her. And then he calls the ThunderCats.
Thank God.
And then he
Tiger's ready to be taken over by something, substance, some kind of haze.
Don't make fun of him. He's got a problem. Anyway, so the ThunderCats are coming, and Mumm-Ra loses his shit again. The ThunderCats! Like,
oh, look, I just said Mumm-Ra.
You're frothing at the mouth like Mumm-Ra right now. Lion-O takes on whatever, and then Tashi. Then you get Tashi, who starts wailing and screaming at I only wanted to be free! I only wanted to be free!
Was that her way of, like, stating why she did it? But she's evil, right?
Yeah. Send her back. Then Mumm-Ra starts flying up, and he starts his internal dialogue about he only has enough power to go back, and then he, of course, tells the ThunderCats, I will get you, this is not over.
But he does it in such a glorious way with his cape. You know, when he has that black, menacing, like, bat-like wings that he gets with his cape when he's flying in the air. I just love Mumm-Ra, even though he's kind of all talk at this moment.
I mean, think about it. It's like, I became a drug dealer.
Oh my god, yeah, my drug dealing didn't work.
I'm trying to use a prostitute of some kind of magical Doomgaze. I'm gonna use the You know what's really funny? When I was doing notes with Siri kept putting it down as Doomgaze. Gays. Doomgaze. I know a few Doomgaze too, you know. But...
Oh, the Doomgaze! This episode introduces a number of different locations of Third Earth, such as the Mount of Anguish, the Phosphorus Desert, Climbing Cliffs of Vertigo, and the Field of Daggers. David, I forgot it was called the Field of Daggers.
Oh, when they're going through the... Oh, that's another thing. Poor...
Cheetara was in the Field of Daggers, right?
No, she was in the Phosphorus Desert.
Phosphorus Desert?
So when the ThunderCats got the signal, they all jump in, and they're ready to go help Lion-O.
Yes.
And they're like, the fastest way is through the daggers. What is it?
The Field of Daggers.
So he's like, we'll have to chance it. So then the Thunder Tank at one point gets caught with the daggers, and there's always one in the group. Wily Kid or Wily Cat, which one was like, I thought you said this was unstoppable. He's
Wily
like,
Cat, yeah.
And Panthers was funny about it. He's like, oh, you know.
Well, almost. I do everything else for you frickin' people.
So then they finally get there, but it's funny. There's some witty funniness about it too.
So in this episode, we witness Mumm-Ra changing into his ever-living form outside of the Black Pyramid, which is something he almost never does, which is true. I always thought he needed the totems in the pyramid to do that, but I guess he had some residual energy laying around.
I don't know, but all that screaming and all that screaming we just did, I'm sure people are going to love that listening to this podcast. Ah! Damn it, Tashi, I told you!
This actor loved screaming Tashi in this episode. He screamed Tashi so many times. Tashi Kago! Egyptian mumbling as well. This episode marks the first time that the ancient spirits of evil are shown to speak by Earl Heyman, which is the voice of Panthro. It is also the first episode in which one of them is mentioned by name when Mumm-Ra refers to them as Nemesis, Force of Darkness. Okay, there we go. So one of them is actually called Nemesis. Never knew that. And not from Resident Evil. This is not Jill Valentine being chased by Nemesis.
No, not at all.
During Mumm-Ra's ritual to release Tashi, he speaks the name of some outer gods from Lovecraft mythos, most noticeably Yago Safik. You know I said that wrong. I remember him saying something Yago.
Lovecraft?
That's what it says. Outer gods from Lovecraft mythos. Notably Yago Safik?
Yogi Bear.
The first instance of Cheetara getting ensnared in a net is shown in this episode. She would later go on to get caught in the same manner a number of future episodes. That's her weakness.
Well, you're running that fast. I mean, really. The net was very see-through. It was
Is
sheer.
it Safari Joe does it again? Oh,
No, God, no. I didn't really care for.
And our last note is Robert Bell has a rather low-pitched voice in this episode compared to her voice in her debut episode in The Burbles. She sounded the same to me.
Well, maybe she was just sad that she's being taken away by a huge jellyfish.
In a cloud.
A cloudy jellyfish. Was that Mumm-Ra? Because it looked like it had a face. He sent it. But no, I mean, it almost thought, sometimes I think Mumm-Ra turns into things.
Well, he does. You remember he transformed in the Burbles episode into that giant swarm.
No, but I mean, I always thought that it was him because it had like a grimacing face.
It could, honestly, it could have been because he was that giant locust. So yeah, Mumm-Ra likes to bring forth some crazy ass shit.
Well, here's the thing. So then, something I thought about. This is why I tell you that Mumm-Ra is kind of twisted in the sense of once he got rid of Lionel and the Sword of Omens, he had no intention necessarily of killing the Thundercats. That's why he said to Cheetara, you're going to need my protection. So his thought was, he's going to start torturing people, rule the universe, rule the world, and he's not going to kill anybody. He's just going to do whatever he wants to do. I really feel like the Thundercats give Mumm-Ra a purpose for once in eons of lifetimes, thousands of years of lifetime, because he has something to do. He has a hobby now.
Honestly, isn't that the truth? What else would he be doing but then just sleeping forever? But he makes it almost seem like, yeah, they interrupted his eternal slumber, but yeah, Mumm-Ra, you're having more fun than you ever had. I mean, I'm assuming.
There's only so many times you can hand out citations to the Burble Village for planting candy fruit. Past the property line, Mumm-Ra.
Well, now we know that the Wolos, the Vulcans are out there, the Warrior Maidens. I'm sure those Vulcans are doing bad because Mumm-Ra raised taxes somewhere.
Probably.
We have to grave rob because the old mummy keeps raising our taxes.
Homeowners association fees are expensive depending on where you live.
You must plant 4 ancient spirit totems outside your village.
They must be placed exactly 12 inches apart.
If it's at 11, you must unroot them and dig again.
So we met Tashi. Poor Tashi.
She only wanted to be free. I didn't think she was that good looking.
She was more body than anything. She had a tiny face and hips.
She was very bodylicious. She was, again, body yaddy 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 yaddy. She had like really red lips and very Cleopatra-esque.
Cleopatra, yes. The Thundercats artists loved them some Egyptian.
Again, it ties into the whole Egyptian thing. Well, I mean, didn't they, as of recently, find a flying pyramid in the sky that nobody's talking about?
3,
but nobody's and the Pentagon said, yeah, they're spaceships.
Mumm-Ra, he's coming.
Could you imagine? I can't even. But, yeah, I mean, I love this episode. I love the fact that Mumm-Ra screams and yells the whole time. But it also shows that he's afraid of the Thundercats. Maybe he's afraid of the Thundercats because he has a finite amount of power.
He gets tapped
outside
out
of his pyramid where he knows he can't hold his ground for long. It's not that he's afraid of them. It's because he knows that he, outside of his pyramid, that's his Achilles heel. That's his weakness. Just like the weakness of...
His face.
I mean, come on now. They don't the Burbles aren't doing plastic surgery over at the Burble Village.
Why don't they just make everything metallic shiny? Every building, so they reflect Mumm-Ra's face back at him. They'd never have to see him again. He would just appear over Cats there and go, oh, like his face would just be that warped look thing.
Anyway.
So that was another episode of ThunderCats Reviews. You can reach David at Universal Appeal 2020, all one word, the Radical Retro Rewind podcast, Radical Retro Rewind.
You can reach me at Doomgaze 2020. Doomgaze.
The Doomgaze 2020.
We should do something with that.
David's handle might be updated to Doomgaze 2020. And you could reach us on YouTube at the Radical Retro Podcast. We will be back again with more kitty cats and mummies right after this. I don't know where these episodes are lining up, people, but thank you, everybody. We will see you soon. Join us on the main Radical Retro Rewind, where we talk other things and topics. If it pleases me. That's my favorite. Bring him back if it pleases me. That's the episode with Hachi Man. I can't wait to get to that.